Good morning, dear students. I am Miss Vandana Pai. In today's lecture of entrepreneurship development, we will be studying the challenges before entrepreneurs in modern era. So let's see what are the challenges before entrepreneurs in modern era. Now, entrepreneur. Who is this person? Entrepreneur is a person who initiates the business, who starts a business for earning reward, well known as profit. He employs all the resources, including both physical resources as well as human resources, and consistently takes creative efforts on these resources so as to achieve a new and useful way which will make the human life happier and materially richer. This person has an unquenchable thirst. He has an urge in finding something new, establishing a new combination of all the resources made available to him. Now, this person, he starts his business by his own. He employs other factors of production. He establishes a link between these factors of production. He coordinates, he controls. Prior to that, he plans for it and proves himself by making or developing a business or enterprise which is successful. Now, let's see, even though this person properly utilizes the functions, still, what are the things which can deprive him or distress him? Yes, let's see the challenges before entrepreneurs in modern era. Challenges. What do you mean by challenges? Challenges means all those things which, if ignored, can terribly harm your organization's or enterprise future. If you're not aware about these things, if you're not aware about these changes into the market, if you don't update your product, your enterprise as per the requirement, surely your enterprise will sink. So, if you want to survive in any type of competition, if you want to always win in any type of competition, then surely you should always look at the challenges which your enterprise faces and successfully overcome these challenges or convert this challenge into opportunity and that opportunity into strength. So let's see what are the challenges. The first challenge is fast collapsing boundaries. Now, fast collapsing boundaries, what it means? Yes, boundaries between companies, customers, and competitors, they are fast collapsing nowadays. This is one of the challenge before entrepreneurs in modern era. See, modern period, it is identified as global business period. Fast developing technology, melting down of ideas of economic protectionism, economic liberalization, and reformation. Due to this fast growing and ever expanding markets, constantly changing buying patterns and preferences, new products and innovations, and worldwide acute competition, these are the common things. So, whenever we consider global economy or whenever we consider global business period, the boundaries between companies, customers, and competitors, they are fast collapsing. Means what? Okay, two companies, two competitors, or a company which has the same product line. Okay, means for example XYZ is a company in India which is producing soaps, and ABC is a company abroad in some foreign country which is producing same soap. Now if we consider these two companies, yes, they are working in the same product line, but they are separately working. So this XYZ company can get a competition from ABC company. But nowadays what happens, what these companies do, these companies, they have a tie-up so that they can grasp more amount of customer, or they can reach to more amount of customers, and through that they can earn good amount of profit. So due to globalization, these all companies, these all countries, they have come together. By coming together, they establish a good relationship between them. The positive relationship is maintained, or the positive relationship is formed, and this positive relationship, it always results into profits to both the companies. Then the competitors, yes, the competitors nowadays in this globalization era, what they do, yes, they compare their businesses, their enterprises with some enterprises abroad. And what they do is they try to have benchmarking. Yes, we are aware about this term benchmarking. What is done into benchmarking? Yes, all the best features of the said product, they are collected, or what the customer needs into that product, such features, they are highlighted. Only highlighting those features, it is not important, but these people who have done benchmarking, what they do is they try to group those features into the product which they are launching. Yes, the product which has the best features, which is needed by the customers, surely they will be purchased by large amount of customers, and in this way these competitors, they try to build a edge or enjoy competitive advantage over other competitors. Then the customers, nowadays the customers, what they do is they have number of options. So if they are not satisfied with one of the brand, what they do is switch over. Or the another thing, they are easily made available with number of products, okay, products having which are produced in the home country as well as abroad. So due to globalization, this is one of the this is one of the challenge before entrepreneurs in modern era. Fast collapsing boundaries. Due to fast collapsing boundaries, every product, every organization, every competitor, every company, yes, they can pose challenge before you. Then price cutting and cost reduction. Yes, price cutting and cost reductions are now popular business strategies. Price cutting and cost reductions. Okay, these two strategies, they are nowadays used by the businesses to become successful and face the competitions given by the competitors, or usually to establish a position in the market. These competitors or the businesses nowadays, they are required to adapt price cutting and cost reduction strategy. So what is this price cutting and cost reduction strategy? Price cutting, yes, the price of the product which you are offering in the market. If the price of the product it is not affordable to the customers, surely they will not prefer your product. Okay, though you are providing quality into your product, still if the price is high, if the price is not affordable to that customer, surely he will reject your product. So nowadays, first thing on which you are supposed to work, or else it will be posing a challenge before your enterprise, that is price of the product. So what you can do is you can charge a price to your product which is lower than the competitor, or it should be nearer approx to the competitor's product price. So now whenever we consider price at the time, yes, how to cut the price, right? Okay, now whenever we consider the determination of price, the cost of production plus profit margin is equal to price. This is the formula for charging the price of the product or quoting the price of the product. Now first thing, the cost of production, okay, means if you have control on the cost of production, or if the cost of producing a particular product or the production activity, if it is in control, then only you can charge price which is low, or you can cut the price of your product, or else somewhere your profit will be affected. Is it? The profit margin will be affected. So what you are required to do, first one, price cutting, okay, then cost reduction. You should always focus on cost of production, okay, means by having minimum wastage you should be able to produce more, or you should be hiring some technology which can help you to reduce wastage, okay. Or what you can do is the factors of production, the reward which you provide to the factors of production, it should be limited ones. Or what you can do is the raw materials, okay, for example raw materials or the inputs which you require to complete the production activity in time, those raw materials whenever you are purchasing from the supplier of raw material, at the time what you can do is, yes, you can purchase the qualitative raw materials with some or in cheaper price. Or what you can do is you can identify 2 or 3 suppliers of raw materials, and by comparing their prices of the inputs you can purchase. Likewise you can adopt some strategies through which you can minimize the wastage of the resources, and through this you can adopt cost reduction. So these 2 strategies you are required to do nowadays. Or if you don't care about price cutting and cost reduction and continue the same price of the product, surely your competitors, what they will do is, yes, they will target the customers, and your customers will be diversified towards their product, or they will purchase their product because their price or the price of their product, it is affordable to him. So this is second challenge. Third challenge is fast. Yes, what fast is? Yes, nowadays the fastest wins. Okay, means the changes in the market, as we all know, market it is ever changing nowadays. The changes are inevitable. Okay, whenever we consider changes in the market, the first and foremost thing, you should adapt your business as per the changes in the market. Or what you are supposed to do is, yes, modification of your product, production activity, and your production center, that is your enterprise, you should always modify it as per the changes in the market. Okay, means if there is something modification into the technology or in the product, or some additional features they are needed by the customers into your product. Okay, if those changes they are not adapted into your product, if you don't upgrade your product as per the changes in the market, surely in the competition you will be slower. Yes, and what we are saying, the fastest wins. So if you don't grasp the challenge, convert that challenge into opportunity and that opportunity into strength of your business, surely you will go fail and surely your enterprise will be affected badly. So what is needed nowadays? Yes, you as an entrepreneur, you should be fast in all respect. Yes, you should be fast in seeking opportunities into the challenges which your enterprise faces. Then customer choice and expectations. The customer choice and expectations, they continuously rise. Yes. Now, see, in this modern concept of business, okay, the modern concept of business, what is the objective of modern business? Yes, previously in traditional concept or the traditional businesses, they had the aim or objective only to have profit maximization or to earn maximum amount of profit through the activity, through their activities carried through their business. But nowadays, in modern times, the business should always focus on customer satisfaction. Okay, now customer satisfaction, what is this terminology and how it can be achieved, whether it earns fruitful gains to the enterprise or not? Let's see. Yes, customer satisfaction means by consuming your product, by consuming the product which is offered by your enterprise, whether the customers they are satisfied or not. Okay, because once the customer is satisfied consuming your product, surely it will earn good benefits. Yes, because the satisfied customer, he will do mouth publicity as well as he will repurchase your product. Okay, means through that mouth publicity itself, okay, that mouth publicity is that stronger that you don't need to do any additional advertising. So customer choice and expectations, as per the customer choice and expectations, okay, what you can do is you can modify your product, okay, and relaunch that product in the market. Surely the customer will get the good amount of satisfaction and they will surely repurchase your product. Okay, and repurchase results into good amount of profits to the enterprise, and also it can be proving a competitive advantage over other competitors. Then customers tolerance for quality is now next to nil. Customer tolerance for quality, what it means? Yes, previously in the second point we have gone through price cutting and cost reduction, right? Okay, now whenever you are charging price for your product, surely you consider the cost of production. Yes, the cost of production, the cost of producing a single unit into your organization, or the resources which you have hired, the reward for those resources, considering all these things, yes, we quote price for our product. Now whenever we consider competition, okay, whenever we are charging price or whenever we are quoting price of our product, surely we will look after the competitors product price. Now whenever we consider competitors product price and try to imbibe that person try to imitate that person or that competitor. Yes, in determining price, surely the product quality gets harmed or hurted. Yes, now if you are charging a low price to the product, and also the quality of the product which you are offering in the market, it is also low. Though you charge low price, still the customers will never tolerate inferior quality of the product. If you're providing inferior quality products in cheaper rates, the customer will not demand your product. Yes, what customer expects is, yes, whenever he is paying something to you, whenever he is paying the price, at the time he expects the same amount of value from the product whenever he will be using it. So nowadays the customer are not tolerant, or the customers, they don't tolerate the inferior quality of the product. So whenever you are doing price cutting, or whenever you are having cost reduction, surely you should always see the quality of the product also, or else your customers will be diversified to other brands. Then human assets and intellectual assets. Human assets and intellectual assets means all those human resources who are working into your organization. Yes, employees, laborers, they are inevitable part of your organization. Unless until these people, they work for you, they give their 100% towards the work which you are offering into your organization, surely your organization progress will be affected. If these people, they don't give their 100% towards the work, if they don't give their efforts, utilize their intellectual, utilize their capacity towards accomplishment of the task, your production activity may be harmed. And if you don't produce, if you don't complete the production activity in time, surely you can't be able to dispatch or distribute the goods whenever they are needed in the market, and in turn your profit and other related objectives, they are affected badly. So whenever we consider human assets and intellectual assets, yes, the organization, they should always care about the quality of work life which you will be providing to the human resources whom you have employed into the production activity of your organization. Then hiring employees, whenever we are selecting the human resources who will be a part of your organization, at that time you should be keen at selecting. Yes, you should hire only the talent. You should hire those people who will surely contribute towards your organization's progress. Or else, if you hire some people who are lazy at work, who don't want to work properly, or who have least interest into the task which you have assigned to them, surely who will be affected? Yes, you and your enterprise. So always whenever you are hiring the employees, you should first draft a good employment policy, a good HR policy through which you should care about them, and also you should get the work done effectively from them. Then cash flow management. Yes, as we need capital into the organization. Whenever we consider entrepreneur, what is the source of capital? Many of the time, the savings or he might have assistance from the financial institutes. So in this two way he can gather the capital, or many more ways are used by him. Now whenever we consider cash flow management means on the regular basis, if your company, your enterprise, it is earning cash benefits, monetary benefits, then how you utilize those cash, or how you utilize that cash, how you manage that cash, and how regularly you will earn the same kind of cash flow. Or you can focus on the recovery period. Okay, considering all these things, okay, if you are good at recovering the amount, if you are good at recovering the credit, surely you can face this challenge successfully. Cash flow management, okay, on regular basis, whether your business or enterprise will be earning cash benefits or not. Okay, if you are not good at collecting the credit, or if you are not good at recovering the credit, surely your enterprise might be badly affected due to this. Then time management. Yes, time management of the time of your organization. Okay, means for example, if your product is seasonal in nature, for example, if you are manufacturing raincoats or umbrellas, okay, yes, as we all know, raincoats and umbrellas, they are utilized in the rainy season. Okay, and usually whenever we consider the rainy season, okay, it starts in the month of June, it ends at September. Okay, now if you are producing this product, raincoats or umbrellas, your production activity should get completed in the month of May itself, and at the end of May your product should be dispatched in the market for selling purpose. Okay, why we are required to do this? Yes, in the month of June, in the first week of June, whenever the customer will ask for that product, when the customer will demand for that product, your product should be available there. Or else what the customers will do, they will purchase the product of other brands. And even though you are providing good quality to product, still if you fail to dispatch your goods in time whenever it was needed by the customer, your business, your enterprise will be badly affected due to this activity. So time management in the sense when to start the production activity, okay, when to complete the production activity, when to dispatch those goods in the market, okay, the proper time, right? The entrepreneur should always care about the time. He should be good at decision making, and he should be good at management of time. Then delegating tasks. What delegating task means? Whatsoever task as an entrepreneur you are required to perform, okay, if that task is not that important, you can delegate it to the managers or your subordinates. Why? If as an entrepreneur you're doing all the things, surely your time will not be utilized properly. Or else what you can do is, yes, you can delegate some of the tasks to your subordinates, and in that free time you can think for some innovations, and those innovations you can apply into your production, into the production activity, and have success into your business. Then product idea. Okay, many of the time if the entrepreneur is not good at selecting the product idea, this can also prove a challenge before his enterprise. Okay, product idea means what is the product which you will be offering to the customers. Okay, for example, how many competitors do you have into your product line? Okay, means already if so many competitors they are into your product line, and still you are going to add a product in that product line where there is tough competition. Yes, at the initial stage itself you are required to wind up your business, because surely this so-called um, those good brands or the brands which are prevailing in the markets, yes, they will defeat you. They can easily defeat you because they have certain strategies. So whenever you are entering into any product, at the time you should be able to see or seek the competitions or the competitors, how many competitors they are available in the market, and as per that you select the product idea. Or else if you select randomly any product idea and then you started production activity, and after that you distributed the goods in the market or you dispatch the goods in the market, and after that if you are thinking on the same issue on the product idea, yes, it will be wastage of the resources. So this is one of the challenge. Then the marketing strategy, the strategy through which you attract the customers. Yes, if you are the if you are a new entrepreneur, yes, surely you should be having certain strategy through which you can enter the market, through which you can attract the customers, and you can enjoy same kind of profitable position in the long run also. So every person, every entrepreneur, he should be having a strategy through which he can attract the customer. If you don't have any strategy, surely, yes, your business will sink, your enterprise will sink. And if you want to survive in the long run, surely you should develop a strategy, a policy which will always give an edge over the competition which is prevailing in the market. Then capital. Okay, the entrepreneur should always ensure that he has good amount of capital, because as we all know, unless until you have suitable amount of capital, you can't start your production activity. Even your production activity will be affected badly due to inadequate capital. So the entrepreneur should always look at the adequacy in the capital, or how the capital will be always be there, which will suit or which will never affect the production activity. Then business growth. Yes, only producing the same level every time is not needed. Okay, business growth should always be one of the motive of your business. For example, okay, if now you are successful at local level, what you can do is you can switch over to state level, national level, international level. Likewise, you should always expand the boundaries of your organization so that you will get more amount of customers, you will be more successful through it. So always the entrepreneur should be having a plan for business growth through which he can capture the markets. Then environment protection and social responsiveness. Environment protection, yes, environment protection and social responsiveness are new yardsticks to measure entrepreneurial performance. Environment protection aims at Yes, whenever you're producing something through your organization, through your enterprise, that should always be not harming. Okay, that product should always be caring about the environment. Okay, for example, if your factory outlet, it is generating certain gases which can harm the community, or which can harm the forest, or the lives, surely you should stop such type of production activity. Why? Yes, nowadays the modern businesses, they should always be caring about environment and the society. If your product is harming the society, you should stop its production, or you should limit the production, or you can have a alternative plan through which, okay, you can protect the environment. Then ethical parameters. Ethical parameters are used to judge the propriety of business decisions. Besides economic outcomes, ethical parameters means what is good and what is bad. Okay, if yes, if you're running your business, surely you are required to finalize certain decisions. Okay, whenever you are finalizing the decisions, yes, they should not affect the society. They should be proper. Those decisions should be proper. Okay, through those decisions, no life should be affected, but those decisions should always result into benefits to the society. So whenever you are deciding something, always see do's and don'ts. Have a code of conduct through which it will be helpful for you itself to progress. Then obsolescence. What obsolescence means? Yes, obsolescence means outdated. Okay, nowadays the speed of scientific research and technological development makes the equipment, tools, products and processes obsolete. So as per the changes in the technologies in the market, what you can do is you can update the technologies, tools which you are using. Okay, why we are required to do this? Yes, if as per the changes in the market, if as per the updations into the technology, we don't update our business technology, or the technology which is used by us into our enterprise, yes, surely the quality of your product will be affected, or the production activity is also affected, or your competitor, they might hire such type of technologies and they can produce the goods in time, they can dispatch those goods in time, and the products which are produced by those competitors, they might be having superior quality than your product's quality. Surely if the competitor is providing superior quality of product, the customers will get diversified towards their product. This can happen. So you should always care about obsolescence. Okay, if there is something which is obsolete or which is outdated, you should always remove it and place a new product or new technology, new tool, so that you will be surely facing the competition in effective way, and it can result into the strength of your organization. With this, let's have certain summary. Let's see the summary of the chapter number 1. Yes, in which we have studied the person, important factor of production, and active factor of production, entrepreneur. Entrepreneurs are individuals who collect means of production, organize an enterprise, innovate, create new things, and bear the risk in the expectation of the reward in the form of profit. Yes, entrepreneurs are the individuals who collect all the factors of production, establish a link between it, and get the work done effectively from those factors of production. Entrepreneurs perceives opportunities for profitable investments, explores the prospects of starting such a manufacturing enterprise, obtains necessary industrial licenses, arranges initial capital, provides personal guarantees to the financial institutions, and promises to meet shortfalls in the capital and also supplies technical know-how. Okay, means this person, what he does, he perceives the opportunity, he sees the opportunities, seeks those opportunities, and those opportunities, they are converted into strength of his organization, through which he can effectively face the competition and win it. So with this we conclude today's lecture. Thank you.